She's a 7-time competitor on American Ninja Warrior, a single mom, and a motivational speaker. Whether she's rocking high heels or high tops, on the stage or on the obstacle course, our special guest today shows up to sow joy. Maggi Thorne, welcome to Spirit 105.3. It is so nice to meet you. We got to start with Steve's question. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
How much does it hurt?
How much does it hurt? You know, that's an interesting question as I'm nursing a bursted blood vessel on my hand.
Oh.
But as you can tell, I keep going back. So there's obviously something really amazing about it. And that's the community. You know, you got to choose your pain.
That's awesome. You were the first mom to beat the salmon ladder. What was that like, Maggie?
I always had my eyes set on the warped wall, and I was the second mom up the warped wall. But to be able to be the first mom to beat the salmon ladder, that was pretty good. To be able to get on the back half of the course, and not only am I a mom, I'm a single mom, so I have to kind of adapt a lot of my training. But I think more than anything, I'm a pretty resilient person. Now, there's a couple obstacles I love. Salmon ladder's one of them. It just so happens to be. There's some other ones I don't love as much, and I do fail on those ones.
So where do you have to be? What's on your mind when you're going through one of these courses? Where do you have to be mentally?
You know, I walk alongside the course, I pray through each obstacle, and I walk through it in my mind again and again because your body will fail you. That's just a given. We're very human, but the strength that we can have is in our mind and in our preparation. And I spend a lot of time in mental focus. I think as a quote-unquote older athlete, it gives me a little bit of an edge to have that kind of wisdom. So when I step up to the course, because you don't get to try it out, it's one and done, I already feel so prepared, and preparedness is a big thing for me. Ephesians She has been a long-standing verse in my life. I've prepared in advance for these things to do, but I know I need to do my side of it, you know, and that is I walk through, I'm pretty focused. If someone knows me, they're like, you might not want to be within 10 feet of her right now, you know, because I'm so dialed in.
Wow. So how does competing on the show make you more of a warrior in life?
You know, before I even did American Ninja Warrior, I did a race called the World's Toughest Mudder. It was a 24-hour race, and I ran 75 miles and completed 330 obstacles in 24 hours. And I think that was actually one of the best things I've ever done for myself because all I had to do was, no matter what the obstacle was, I literally had to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And you say sleep deprivation. It was in New Jersey in winter, so I was in a wetsuit. And what I really literally had to do is I had to leave myself open for possibility and not let fear override that. That was really a faith moment. I had never even run a marathon before that. I hadn't even run over 8 miles. I was definitely a newbie until they started saying, "Who's this girl?" And I had ended up in second place, but we had a chance to do one more lap. And the cameras came around. I already had second secured, and they thought I was going to stop. This is going to be so silly. If you got 75 miles, you got a special silver bib. Now, that meant something to me.
Sure.
So I grabbed a handful of Oreos from the medic tent, and I walked past all the cameras, and I said, I'm not done yet. I need that bib. And the eyes that looked at me, but I already knew, well, I've come this far. Why would I stop now? I wonder what is in me. And so that has set the stage for me as a mom. You know, that's where you really have to be a warrior as a parent, an advocate for your kids, a warrior for your community, your friends, for Christ. So American Ninja Warrior, it's a lot of joy. It's such a comfortable place for me. I think people can get nervous in front of a camera, and all the producers know, they're like, oh, here she comes. She loves that camera. So it's so fun for me to interact with the world in that way, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. What would you say to somebody who wanted to try it? How should they get ready?
I always ask people if they really want the commitment. It's something that you do have to put a lot of time in, and there's a lot of people who want that opportunity, and if you don't really want the commitment, you might be taking someone else's opportunity that really does want it. So being respectful to ask yourself the questions of what is really in you. I never try to really discourage someone. I will always just ask questions because ultimately it's their choice, it's their decision, it's their journey. I can only foster curiosity.
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot of good questions that come in that, and it might even change the direction of their training. I just met so many new people last week, so many incredible stories from a mom who started becoming a ninja because she had lost her son when he was 3, and a couple of days after he passed, she just started running, and she never stopped running, and she became an athlete. And I have goosebumps talking about, it's just shaped her life, and we got to spend some time and worship together in prayer. And, it's one of those things where he's a God of possibilities, but are you going to allow it? And so allowing for the opportunity to let him make you a warrior.
I love it. Maggie, what do your kids think about you being on the show?
My kids are my hardest critics. They're so hard on me. I had actually had a traumatic brain injury, a mild one, on the show, and I retired, and I was going through outpatient rehab for about a year. And my kids, Mommy, when are you going to do Ninja Warrior again? And I said, oh, no, baby, I'm done. I said, what? No, but I love cheering you on. And I said, oh, but I could get hurt again. And my youngest one, she looked at me, she goes, well, you tell everybody to not give up, but what are you doing? And I was like, oh, wow. I'm just trying to make her some eggs, and she's giving it to me in the kitchen. And in that moment, I also realized this is the life I've breathed into them. This is who they've seen. It's a spirit that's in them too. And also it challenged me. I had lost that sense of never giving up in that season. I was almost mad that God had given me that tagline. I was like, no, that's ridiculous. And I was so frustrated with it because that's what anyone would say to me. Oh, never give up, Maggie. And I was in the worst pain. I was miserable. I wasn't getting better from my recovery. And I was so frustrated. But then I realized I had to let that grow again, and I was just in a season of being planted and restructured, and I just had to bloom in a different way. And it was really a shedding of the old me and God saying, this is who I want you to be going forward. And that's actually really when my recovery started to accelerate too. That's what's wrapped around it is my kids breathe that life. They push me. Like if I'm tired, they're the ones I hear. They're like, come on, and even if one of my kids is picking their nose on the sideline and it's caught on camera, which has absolutely happened, they're so fierce and they're on it. And now I get to be on their sideline as their athletes as well.
Oh, Maggie Thorne, you are a delight. Thank you so much for being with us today on Spirit 105.3. We're cheering you on, but we won't pick our noses.
But you can only pick your favorite ninja, and I hope it's me, and thank you for the opportunity to be on today. Have a great day. Be a warrior.